What's up, y'all? It's your girl Amanda, and we are back with another episode of Thompson and Stuff. So, we are in the middle of March. We're almost in the middle of March, and guess what, y'all? The weather is finally breaking. Summertime shy is on her way, okay? Now, I get excited because, it's no longer snowing in the forecast, and I could just smell the beach. Every summer I go to the beach at least like once per year. This summer I'm looking to go at least 3 or 4 times. 3 or 4 times on a Saturday, and I could just go to one of the trendy restaurants and go to the beach. That's just my goal. That's just my goal. And I'm looking forward because y'all know I'm in the gym and stuff, right? I want to find me a couple pair of short overalls to wear, probably a romper with my swimsuit underneath. I'm just so ready, y'all. I've been cooped up in the house because of the cold. I'm ready to roll my windows down. I'm ready to, not wear a jacket every day. I'm just ready for it all. I'm ready for it all. But we are here with another episode of Thompson and Stuff. I just want to thank y'all so much for all the support. About a couple days or so ago, I'm recording this on a Friday, by the way. A couple days ago or so, I dropped a couple episodes of Mandy's Entertainment Reviews, which is, if you don't know, my other podcast that I do, where I review books, movies, TV shows, and documentaries. Thank y'all so much for watching, for the support, for the likes. If you're sharing it, I do appreciate you. Um, I am looking to do more episodes of Mandy's Entertainment Reviews, but I also am planning to do more episodes of Thompson and Stuff. If you guys kind of follow along all these years, you kind of noticed that I would release an episode once a month. I actually found a way of how I can release more episodes per month. That way, I can gain more traction to Thompson and Stuff because I understand y'all actually like Mandy's Entertainment Reviews more. And maybe I could get those viewers to cross over to the podcast to get more numbers on there. I love podcasting. And I just want you guys to just, enjoy the content. I think that's what all creators want us to do, just to enjoy the content. But, life is still a little slow for me in the employment department, but we still gonna get it together. But I want to catch up on you guys on some stories I've been, getting together. And y'all know me, I'm gonna speak my mind. So the first story I want to talk about is I was on TMZ this morning, and saw that there isn't going to be a a couple years ago they combined it to music and video award show, MTV. But I always, I'm old. I remember watching the VMAs back in the 90s. And I always called them the VMAs. Music video, movie, whatever. It's always going to be the VMAs to me. So I read on TMZ this morning that there isn't going to be VMAs this year. And honestly, I looked at it, not surprised, and I kept scrolling. Now, again, you guys, y'all know how old I am. I grew up I only saw like 5 years in the 90s, and I think 5 years was enough. I remember when the VMAs and the music video awards and the movie video awards, it was a big deal, right? I remember all the stars being there, performances, and Britney Spears wearing that sheer glittery outfit, and NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and Limp Bizkit and all that stuff. That's my era, right? But I last time I watched the VMAs was the last time I paid for TV. And it wasn't like typical cable, it was Philo. I like Philo. I wouldn't pay like $28 for it, but and the last time I watched it, I didn't understand who was what and what was going on and who and huh. Because I think the reason why they're not doing the VMAs as much this year is because the generation that watched the VMAs back in the 90s and the early 2000s, if we were to sit and watch this in a research room or something, we'd be so confused. We would be so confused because I don't know who Chaperone is, and I don't know what Billy, what's her name? Millie Bobby Brown. I don't know what movie she played in. Like, I don't know none of that stuff. I don't know I never seen an episode of Stranger Things. I don't know. So I think it's because, and also, this younger generation, they don't sit in front of a TV. When I was a kid, and we still do in my house because my mom's old school, but if it was a big deal like the BET Awards, VMAs, and all that stuff, we sit in front of the TV, no phones in our hand, no computers in front of us. No, we gonna sit in front of that TV. We gonna watch the whole show. We gonna watch Destiny's Child perform it. We gonna watch Limp Bizkit perform, and then we gonna watch the Backstreet Boys perform, and then we gonna watch Korn perform. We're gonna watch the whole thing. Whereas now these kids got all this technology and they're so distracted. And then, not a lot of kids sit in front of the TV. They got their little streaming devices, and TV was always a cable channel. And they look to find ways to expand to, see how, like, how should I say this? They look to find ways of how people could watch without being binded to a TV. But I guess it just didn't work. And at this point, they should just shut down the VMAs because no one's really watching it on TV. But I also have an idea. Why don't they just like stream like a special or something? And like how back in the day Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, if they couldn't be to the award show, and they would have like a video saying, "Oh my God, thank you so much. Unfortunately, I can't be there." Each recipient of an award, they could record their own video, and it could be like a BT countdown special where it's pre-recorded. But and then if it's pre-recorded, we don't know. And then the viewers at home can be surprised, like it's always been for like 100 years, because the Grammys is old as hell. So I mean that's a good idea, but yeah, the whole award show format. Well, I mean the Grammys and Oscars and the Academy, all that stuff. That that's been going on for years. That format's been working. But we're talking about MTV, like a younger generation, because the Academy, Grammys, all that stuff, that's for like old people or whatever. But I think they should go that route. That way they could save face on and still call it the VMAs, just in a different format. That's my opinion. Let's see. Tiger Woods is dating Vanessa Trump. I have a question if anybody knows, because I don't really follow Tiger Woods. All I know about Tiger Woods is that he got a black dad and he play golf. Is Tiger Woods a Trump supporter? I always wondered about that because the black community hasn't really been talking about Tiger Woods these past few years. So I have a feeling he is, but I don't want to sit there and point a finger and accuse and talk out the side of my neck. So does anybody know if Tiger Woods is a Trump supporter? I mean, got Donald Trump Jr.'s ex-wife, and she's the ex-wife for a reason. I always wondered about that. And isn't Tiger Woods retired by now? Again, I don't know because I don't follow his career like that. He should be retired by now. He's like 45. Still trying to swing a golf court. He should just sit back and make that Nike money. That's just my opinion. But yeah, they're dating. I read somewhere it's not serious. It's still fresh. So I'll check back in with y'all within like 6 months or so, see if they still together. Because if it's something fresh and just getting started, you know, ain't much to report on. And she's affiliated with the Trumps, and I'm trying not to do like Trump talk on here. But I do have another Trump story. I think I can connect it. Vanessa's ex-husband, Donald J. Trump Jr., is considering running for president, and that is a big fat hell no, because we don't want another Trump in office. Okay, let me say this. If I would vote for one Trump to be in office, but I don't think she'll ever run for office, is Mary Trump, because she can't stand her uncle Donald Trump. She be like telling all the family jewels and stuff, and she's not a Trump supporter at all. Mary Trump, no. She wrote a book on her uncle. I want her in office just to spill all the tea. I'm just saying. But yeah, Donald J. Trump Jr. is trying to run for office. It's just not happening. And hopefully in 2028, I hope everybody wakes up and see the shit show that's been going on in 2025. The shit show ain't gonna stop in 2026 and ain't gonna stop in 2027. I'm sorry for being negative, but with the way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, no Donald J. Trump Jr., no Donald J. Trump Sr., no Eric Trump, Ivanka Trump, none of that. Nope. No, I don't want nothing to do with that. Melania Trump, no, nope, 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 nope. And did y'all see Melania Trump's book on the shelves at like the bookstores and stuff? And it just looked like a big book that just looks so scary. I picked it up. It looked like a normal book, words, text, all that stuff. But the cover just looks so scary. It's like Melania. Like it's forcing you to pick it up. It looks so weird. That whole family is weird, honestly. Except Mary Trump. Because she'd be like speaking out against her uncle. And I don't know. I hope they don't silence Mary. Because, and she, you know what? They say Kamala Harris warned us. So did Mary Trump. Yeah, Mary Trump also warned us. So give her credit on that. $1 million Listing LA filming is on pause, which makes me sad because as you guys know, um, Josh Altman left with Heather, right? Um, so it's only Flag and Tracy. Now, why did they pause? It didn't really say when I read it on TMZ, but I wouldn't be surprised. Because it's only Tracy and Flag. Now, those are great personalities for the show. Great, whatever. But maybe they paused it to find more people to add on. I always thought they would bring back the British guys, David and the other guy. But yeah, with just Tracy and Flag, that would be a lot to carry the show on them. And I mean, did you guys know that they did the same pause with Real Housewives of Miami, but they did it for like almost 10 years. I don't think they're gonna do 10 years for $1 Million Listing LA because it's such a popular show. Whereas Real Housewives of Miami wasn't that great until they rebooted it. I hope this like freeze would be for like 6 months or so. I love that show. I love that show. It's one of my favorites. Maybe they could bring back Madison Hildebrand. Hmm. That'd be a good idea too. But yeah, it's on pause, so we'll probably won't see new episodes till like 2026 or whatever, which sucks. Because I was really looking forward to seeing how this will go about without Josh Altman. I don't want to get Flag and Altman mixed up, but yeah. Shout out to Southwest Airlines, and I'm not giving you a good shout out. Southwest Airlines is dropping the 2 free check bags, which pissed me off because I only fly with Southwest because I fly out of the hubs that go. I only do direct flights. I did a layover one time from Mexico to Texas. I think I was in Houston. No, going to Mexico, I did Austin. Coming back, I was in Houston, and you had to like entertain yourself for 2 hours until you get on the plane to go to where you're going. For me, it was from Texas to Chicago, and then from Mexico to Texas to Chicago. I learned that day I don't like layovers. But the 2 free check bags, I I'm assuming that what they're going to do is probably add that fee on to the ticket prices when you pay through the app or online or however you get your Southwest Airlines, which I'm not looking forward to because I only fly Southwest Airlines, one, because they fly out the major Chicago hubs on both airports, and two, the 2 free check bags. I always gave them one suitcase and I carried my backpack, but you know, that's a lifesaver to me. So for you to add on, I think the fee was going to be $35. Is such a burden to me, even though I could be flying from Chicago to St. Louis or Chicago to Atlanta. Whatever, $35 is a lot in this economy. Okay, so y'all know y'all wrong. And then this is coming after them um freaking, giving up the free for all, find your own seat. Now you gotta pay for your own seat, and which is a little bit more organized, I understand, but like I have anxiety, and then whenever I get on a plane, I grab the first seat. But now if I get on a plane, I'm having an anxiety attack and I see an open seat, likely it's not my seat. So Southwest, I hope this is kind of an experiment to y'all, because if this ain't working, y'all better go back to the old ways. And that way, if y'all go back to the old ways, you can make more money and all is well with the world. And I can go to Vegas. Just saying. Just saying. So Southwest, this ain't no time to be experimenting either. Planes flying out of the sky and whatnot, and no, absolutely not. Switch it back, Southwest. Switch it back. Let's see what else. Again, y'all, I'm going back months. I've been acquiring stories. So, Marcus Jordan, it turns out he had ketamine and not cocaine. And you know what? This is my opinion. I don't know much about drugs, but having ketamine is just as worse. Um, so I recently watched the Matthew Perry documentary. It was on Peacock. It's called Matthew Perry, A Hollywood Tragedy. And I was gonna do a Mandy's Entertainment Reviews episode on it, but I just it was just like the Jared Fogle documentary. It was just too disturbing for me to even sit and read off a piece of paper all the notes I had. So I just, I scrapped it. But I did learn some stuff about ketamine. If you have ketamine, it has to be legally prescribed to you. So in Marcus Jordan's case, I'll call him Michael. Marcus Jordan's case, he had it on him. I don't think I ever read somewhere where it was prescribed to him or anything. So he illegally had it. If there was no doctor involved. Ketamine can still kill you. Obviously, we see what happened to Matthew Perry. And then you could get charged for even conspiracy to distribute. And yeah, Marcus Jordan, I I don't understand why he had ketamine, but he had it, and those are the laws. Well, I'm going off what happened in the Matthew Perry documentary, and they all were all in California. Marcus lives in Florida. I don't know the law in Florida. If you live in Florida, please tell me. But that's what I learned on the documentary that I watched uh for Matthew Perry. God, I couldn't remember his name. So yeah, it turns out he had ketamine and not cocaine, which again is just as worse. Tiffany Henyard loses the primaries, and what that basically means is that she's not going to be in the running to be mayor of Dalton, which is good. Which is good. They actually elected this other guy. I think his name is Jason House, and he seems like a solid dude. He used to work with Tiffany, so I hope he could break that stereotype that I have that, politicians like her is the reason why Chicago South Suburbs is the way it is. So Jason House, even though I don't live in Dalton, help the people of Dalton, don't do what Tiffany Henyard did. And then I looked on TikTok and Instagram. Tiffany Henyard put out a freaking rap video, and she's even though she's no longer in the running to become the mayor of Dalton, she's really out here making herself look dumb. And if I just lost a primary election to help my city, quote unquote help in Tiffany's case, I wouldn't even show my face. I'd probably quit my job that day. But no, I'm out here making rap videos and on beats that sound like it was produced by Young Chop. Like I don't understand that. So Tiffany Henyard no longer in the running. I think we can all take a deep breath in the South Suburbs because she not only is she the mayor of Dalton, she's also the supervisor at the township. And the township oversees like a group of suburbs. So she also worked there too. So yeah. Leaving Neverland sequel is coming to YouTube. The Michael Jackson estate should get on that. And the only reason why it's coming to YouTube because YouTube One is free. HBO, Hulu, all those are the big conglomerates. They probably, if they were to bring that sequel to those big conglomerates, they'll be like, heck no. I'm not doing that. So whoever is in charge of the Surviving Michael Jackson, which is the title, and they're bringing it to YouTube, most likely they're going to be sued, not the conglomerate. I don't understand why we need another Leaving Neverland uh why do we need another Leaving Neverland sequel? Like we all know Michael Jackson was innocent. Wade Robson and all them, they lied. So what is this sequel for? And I bet it's gonna be one of them things where it's gonna be on YouTube for a long time and it's probably gonna get like 500 views. That's what that's what's probably gonna happen. If you guys are wondering what I'm drinking, I'm having a Members Mark smoothie, strawberry banana. That I buy the 12 pack for $13. And then I also have my circle, I have the tumbler and I have the Jamaica hibiscus flavor cartridge in it. So if you guys hear me take a drink, I'm just taking a little drink break, because sometimes I be recording the episode and my mouth gets dry and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my voice like this if I don't have water. So I always try to keep my drinks nearby. Latasha Scott, she did the residuals challenge. I think R. Kelly did the residual challenge too. I didn't hear R. Kelly's version, nor did I hear Latasha Scott's version, because you know what? I am more on Tamika's side, because if you really watch that TV show with Escape on Bravo, I understand. I completely understand where Tamika is coming from about Latasha. So Latasha Scott did the residuals challenge, and she sang about how she separated from her husband. If you guys don't remember, her husband Rocky was on the show too, and Tamika said that her and Rocky stole her money and royalties that was supposed to pay for her daughter's education or whatever. Well, Latasha said that her and Rocky have been separated for 2 years, and she wants to sit down and talk to her sister Tamika. Now, Tamika did respond, and she said, "Okay, let's talk." But she also dropped the bomb that Latasha was lying about separating from Rocky, and they're still together. This is a big, big mess. I see why Latasha is not in Escape anymore. And you know what? I really want to go see Escape a concert without Latasha because I think she's just the negative energy of the group. I'm sorry for saying it, but she is. Her husband, her on the show. If you guys watch the show, she had like a whole entourage of people, and nobody else. Candy, Tiny, Tamika. I don't remember them having entourages, but Miss Big Ego Latasha had her chef. What do you need a chef for? And it's likely that the food there is catered. I don't understand that. Do I think that Tamika should talk to her sister? Absolutely. But I will say tread lightly. Tread lightly. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Gene Hackman and his wife, they were found dead in their home. So rest in peace, Mr. Hackman and Mrs. Hackman. So when the story first came out, it was very suspicious. Gene Hackman and his wife found dead, mummified. We don't okay, they're found dead. Like, was it carbon monoxide poisoning? Did their hearts just stop? Like, what? It was such a mystery for like 2 weeks. So, it did come out that Gene Hackman, he had Alzheimer's. He was 95, but his wife had heart attacks. So she had this condition where it's kind of transported through mice. And I read somewhere on the Daily Mail that she probably encountered like mice droppings in her home and probably got it from there. But to me, it still sounds suspicious because she was found dead in the home, and then he just dropped that. I don't understand that. But he was again 95 natural causes, but the wife's situation that seems suspicious to me. Even though Mr. Hackman was 95, but her encountering, because if you find rat droppings in your home, you just sweep it up and move on. Did she like touch it? I don't understand. So it's still, to me, it's still a big mystery. Like, even though there's probably more stories out there, I got to do some research because that's still very weird to me. Um, Casey Anthony is on TikTok. Uh, oh God, I remember Casey's case too. I was probably in middle school or early high school probably. And for some reason, when I was 14, well, because Michael Jackson's passing was like on the news like 24/7 for months. When I was in high school, I used to be obsessed with watching Larry King and Nancy Grace. So the story is that Casey Anthony had this 3-year-old daughter named Kaylee Anthony. She went missing. The country went up in arms. Oh, we gotta find baby Kaylee, and blah blah blah. So it later came out that Kaylee Anthony was found in some woods somewhere or something, and her body was buried, blah, blah, blah. And they traced it back to Casey. Casey had like chloroform, body bags, all that stuff in her trunk. So Casey Anthony got arrested. She got charged with the murder of her daughter. And this is where I kind of give up on the state of Florida. This is the beginning of how I knew Florida was a weird state. So Casey Anthony goes through this whole trial, right? And guess what? Casey Anthony found not guilty of murdering her daughter. So Casey Anthony's back in the free world. And we saw sightings of Casey Anthony here and there, but nothing major until now, where she took out her phone and signed up for a TikTok account where she said, I am here to advocate for women and LGBTI, that. No, we should not listen to nothing Casey Anthony had to say. She's a child murderer. No, I don't believe a word she said. So not only are we all up in arms on TikTok that Casey Anthony is back in the general public, Nancy Grace, who I have not seen for years, because after Michael Jackson's death died down, well, kind of winded down, and they had the trial for Conrad Murray, and Conrad Murray went to jail. Nancy Grace moved on, and then I stopped watching like Larry King. Well, Larry King went off air. I didn't like Piers Morgan, so I was like, I'm just gonna stop watching CNN in general. And then Nancy Grace went off air, so I haven't seen Nancy Grace since I was a teenager. All of a sudden, I turn on TikTok one day and I see Nancy Grace turning Casey Anthony's ass every way what loose. I said, I know that's right. Casey Anthony should not have shown her face in public. We don't want to see her face. We know what she did. She's not in jail, but I hope she get her karma. We ain't hearing nothing that Casey Anthony got to say. In my opinion, I don't want her to advocate for me. Nope. Casey Anthony, go back in that hole where you were. Don't nobody want to see you. Don't nobody want to talk to you. I think her own parents, one of her parents are dead, and I think her mother or somebody don't talk to her. Like, we ain't fooling with you, Casey. We know what you did. George Lopez is creating a Charlie Murphy doc, and I think about time. We can say what you want about George Lopez and his style of comedy and all that stuff, but finally, somebody's gonna make a doc about Charlie Murphy. I've seen enough documentaries on Bernie Mac. I've seen enough documentaries on George Carlin. Let's make a Charlie Murphy documentary because Charlie Murphy's catalog, I think a lot of generations would know Charlie Murphy. Like my generation would know Charlie Murphy as the guy from Boondocks. He played Remy, the rich man's Ed Wensler's. No, his name is no. The guy's name is Remy. I think Ed Wensler the third on the Boondocks, where he played the crazy white boy with the guns. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, like let's have a Charlie Murphy documentary. Charlie Murphy died when I was 25, so 24, 23. He died in like the late 2010s. That's all I remember. And ain't nobody mentioned nothing about a Charlie Murphy doc, nothing about a Charlie Murphy movie. Like, it's just, oh, Charlie's gone. We went to his funeral and then we put him away. That's it. So this would be great for a Charlie Murphy doc to be seen. Marshawn Lynch and Stephen Curry, they're doing a Mac Dre documentary. We need a Mac Dre documentary as well. I think a lot of West Coast artists who have transitioned do have like hella documentaries. We all know like Tupac and who else? Tupac, Biggie, they all got hella documentaries. I ain't seen one Mac Dre documentary, so I would love to see that. And it's done by Stephen Curry and Marshawn Lynch. Stephen Curry is not from the Bay, but he plays for the Golden State Warriors, so he's been living there for years. And then Marshawn Lynch, who's from California, it makes sense for them to do it. Omarion went on the Breakfast Club, or he did some interview where he said he has no relationship with B2K. And this is where I learned that my childhood has been a lie because B2K weren't brothers like they say they were. They were more so co-workers. And also Lil Fizz had a relationship with Omarion's child's mother, and that's a factor too. But I always looked at B2K like, oh, they're brothers, they're on each other's MTV Cribs episodes and all that stuff. But in 2025, Omarion says they have no relationship, so that means we won't be getting a B2K solo tour, because I know the Millennium Tour, but not like a solo B2K tour where they perform the songs from the 3 great albums they had. That sucks. But I'm not gonna comment much on it because I wasn't a big B2K fan until after they broke up. Because I remember the little girls on 106 Park crying. The younger generation, tough though. Because if one of the K-pop groups break up, I probably see a kid complain about it online or something for a couple days and then they move on. No, there's some girls I know and they still get very sensitive about B2K breaking up and they're in their 30s. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, cool. Skype is going defunct. So rest in peace to Skype. I never really used Skype. And if for the young kids that don't listen, Skype is what Zoom was before, the pandemic came in and everybody had to use Zoom. And then before FaceTime came in too, because I remember I was in high school. I had a smartphone, but I didn't have an iPhone, and FaceTime wasn't a thing back then. So if you wanted to talk to your friends but you wanted to see their faces, you had to get on Skype. You like laptops weren't as small as they are now, so you had to get your big bulky laptop. You had to sign on to the Wi-Fi, and then you had to wait for your friends to sign on. And you better hope your friends have great Wi-Fi, or else your conversation's going to be very spotty. I miss those days, but we have FaceTime, and then I have friends with Android, so we do like Duo and stuff. So that's the new alternative. And then yeah, Zoom kind of killed Skype because you could do so many things with Zoom that you can't do with Skype. I think on Skype you can have like a one-on-one conversation, but on Zoom you can have as many people as you want. I don't know if they did like the multi-people on Skype because I only used it like a couple times in high school. So, but rest in peace to Skype. If Microsoft was smart, they probably get on that and like rebrand it. That's just my opinion. Jamie Foxx signs with Fox for scripted and unscripted. Now, congratulations to Jamie. Even though me personally, I wished it would be Netflix because of the special he did. But you know what though? Fox is just as good, and I can't wait to see it. I wonder if it's gonna be on like the Fox channel or will it be distributed by Fox to the streaming sites? Like I watched that one sitcom he had on Netflix, which was not very good, but it was on the way of something. Let's just say that. So congratulations to Jamie. Journey Smollett, her ex-husband, wants her childhood acting money, and all I'm gonna say is hell no, because you weren't there when she made it, so you have no access to that. It's a no-brainer. The judge should look at this and say it's a no-brainer. Like you're not getting this lady's money. Absolutely not. Wendy Williams, as if you guys don't remember, Wendy Williams was diagnosed with frontal lobe dementia or whatever. Well, Wendy Williams went to the hospital and she had like a competency test and she passed. So Wendy, you better sue everybody and put some people in jail because girl, they ruined your life. And Kevin, who triggered the conservatorship, I don't want to sit there and say he should have some sort of punishment, but Wendy, you should check him about that. Maybe he didn't mean to or whatever, but keep him in check about that. And that's all I'm gonna say because that's more so of a family issue, and I don't want to go too deep in that. Around the Horn on ESPN is ending. I can't believe I used to watch Around the Horn when I was like in sixth grade. So I would get out of school at 3 o'clock and I took the bus. And I had to be on the bus by like 3:10 and I would be home because my elementary school was like 10 blocks from my house. And I'd be home in no time, right? And when I walked through that door around 3:30, what would be coming on ESPN? So 3:30 was Around the Horn, 4 o'clock was Pardon the Interruption, and 5 o'clock would be Sports Center, and 6 o'clock would be the sports event of the night, basketball, tennis, whatever. So I can't believe that show was ending. It was on more longer than you know all those other shows and longer than I've been watching ESPN. That goes to show that ESPN is really falling off. Even though, yeah, they hired Shannon Sharp and they got Stephen A. Smith and stuff, but nobody ain't really checking for Around the Horn or ESPN like that, which makes me very sad because ESPN used to be the worldwide leader in sports, right? But then here comes FS1, FS2, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp before he went to ESPN, and all these other small time shows like um what's his name, Jeff Teague, he got a podcast, and then all these sports writers and analysts, they got podcasts, and nobody's really watching TV like ESPN and FS1. They listening to the podcast. So man, the world is just changing. The world is changing. If Around the Horn is ending and ESPN is really falling apart. I wanted to work for ESPN when I was a kid. But then I got older and I realized I hate being on camera, and sports journalism is a lot harder than it looks. So sorry about that, Around the Horn. Let's see what else is going on. Marlon Wayans confirms White Chicks 2. I look forward to that because I really did enjoy White Chicks 1. If you guys don't know, the unedited version is currently on HBO Max. I wanted to see White Chicks in theaters. I was 9, so nobody was really going to take me to see it when it first came out. But my cousin, she actually had my auntie buy it on DVD and she let me watch it. And I really could see a second, a sequel to it where, they could go undercover for another event, and Kevin and Marcus are married. Well, I think Marcus was already married, but Kevin would be married. And I have so many ideas of how this will go, but I know that the Wayans brothers will like do this very well. So I can't wait to see that. Savannah Chrisley says that being a Trump supporter cost her a lot of business deals. Uh, Duh, because you kind of went the wrong way of getting your parents out of jail. And also it's confusing because isn't your niece or your sister, because there's a story out there that she said that she gets in her feelings, that people call her niece her sister, but it's in reality her sister niece is the daughter of her older brother Kyle. But girl, what you expect? Like, some of these major corporations are not Trump supporters. Like, no, like, we don't, that's not our picture, that's not our message, of course. So it's your fault that you lost those business deals, and it's also your fault that you tried to persuade Trump to release your parents. Play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Ever heard that term? Wu-Tang announced its final tour. I can't believe Wu-Tang is having a final tour, but you know what? I completely understand why. A lot of the members are very busy with things. Wu-Tang has been around for like 35 years. So they should just have one more bang and then let all the members just go about their separate ways. Still have that entity, still come together on certain events, but touring can take a lot out of an artist too. And keep in mind that most of those men are in their 50s. So yeah, that's that, let them have it. I want to go. They're coming to Chicago in July, so I'm gonna see how much the tickets are and give me a couple. Probably bring my boyfriend because he likes Wu-Tang too. So in TV news, have you guys been watching the TV shows? I watched the new season, the first episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Honestly, it's different. It's kind of a breath of fresh air. A lot of people have been saying that, oh, it's more like Love and Hip Hop with strip clubs and stuff and blah blah blah. It's different. Let's just keep it at that. It's only the first episode, but what I can definitely say is that it's definitely different. Um, in previous seasons, it was more proper tea and, crumpet style, but it's different now. It's more laid back and modern. And so I can't wait to see how this season will go with Shamia, who lives in a beautiful house. And the thing about what I learned about Shamia, because she was a friend of the show, Shamia is so funny. Like, she's hilarious. I think she's going to be one of my favorites. Like on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I love Bozma. Is that her name? Bozma? I love Bozma. I love Shamia. So it's putting the Real Housewives in a new light where I could watch a new season of the certain franchise that I like. And I'm like, okay, I like her. I can't wait to see what she's going to do this season. I like her. Can't wait to see what she's going to do in the season. So I can't wait for that. Suits LA. I don't like it. It's clearly showing that it's a knockoff of regular Suits in New York. Like, you could watch the characters and you can say, okay, that's going to be Mike. She's supposed to be Rachel. She's supposed to be Donna. She's supposed to be the. I was doing that the first episode, and I'm like, I'm not going to get along with this show at all. So no, I didn't like Suits LA. With Love, Meghan, Meghan Markle's show on Netflix, I really love because it gives Christopher Lowell meets Martha Stewart. And if you are in my age group and you got a mom that was really into interior design or into HGTV like mine was back in the 90s, Christopher Lowell, if you know, you know, and I hope wherever he is now, he's doing well. And it just brought me back to the comfort of my childhood, of my mom watching Christopher Lowell and learning how to like put wallpaper on a small wall or something. That's the feeling I got watching With Love and with Megan. And I saw Prince Harry on there, so of course Prince Harry had to be on there. So, and it was renewed for a second season, which I think is awesome. So I can't wait to see what she'll do with the second season. And lastly, Behind the Gates, I'm addicted. I'm addicted. I can't watch it in the 1 o'clock hour during the day, so I watch it on Paramount Plus. Oh my gosh, I'm addicted. And I think what they do is they put it on Paramount Plus the same day. I just can't watch it till later. I'm addicted. I love the characters. The family is black and wealthy. I'm addicted. And you should definitely check it out. Again, it comes on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I know a lot of people will be working and stuff, so you could watch it. I think they put the episode on Paramount Plus around 5-ish, so right around time people get off work, they could just pull it up on Paramount Plus. Um, Delta wants to offer crash victims $30,000 each for the crash regarding when they were upside down. And all I'm gonna say is no, that's not enough. Delta is one of the bougiest airlines ever. If you guys go fly Delta to like Atlanta or something, they got like the Delta Lounge, they got the Biscoff cookies, they got all that stuff. They got enough money. Give them people at least $2 million per victim. People fly with Delta all the time. I'm sure y'all make money all the time. Y'all gonna be all right. Y'all gonna be all right. Pay them people, because if you get on a plane and you're expected to fly from point A to point B, you're expected to be there safely. You're not expected to fly and then your plane flip over. So pay them people for their pain. That's my opinion. Let's see. Diddy's lawyer dropped him for because of defense strategy. And you know what this means in layman terms? Diddy's lawyer actually sat down and read his case and said, "Oh, I don't think I can do this." Yeah. I don't think I can do this. That's what it basically means. Diddy's lawyer who dropped him had a backbone and maybe some morals and said, I don't think I can do this. And then there's another story that Diddy's defense, I guess not the lawyer who dropped him, they claim that the CNN video has been destroyed. No, 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 no. We've seen it. And because of the power of the internet and how things spread really quickly, that's that's the video right there. I don't think it looked destroyed to me. Diddy is fucked. And he's trying to like gaslight us to make it seem like he's not. But he is. I'm sorry to say this, but he is. Um Speaking of legal issues, Simon Guobadia, who is married to Portia from Real Housewives of Atlanta, he was detained by ICE. And a lot of people, I've been hearing why he's been detained by ICE, which is kind of not true. But if you guys don't know, like Simon, he came into the country, he did some fraud, he got deported, he came back, was not supposed to be here. And I guess it all caught up to him, and now he's detained by ICE. I don't know how this is going to work with him divorcing Portia. So I hope Portia gets her divorce very quickly. And at first I didn't understand it, because when I heard that Portia was divorcing Simon, I'm like, why is she divorcing Simon? I thought she loved him and blah blah blah. And it was kind of quick. But now with everything coming out about Simon, how he did fraud and stuff back in the day, I completely understand why she got the heck out of Dodge. I wouldn't want to be married to a fraudster who did fraud back in the day. And, once a fraud, always a fraud. And she probably, my assumption, she probably had a fear that he would fraud her too. I understand. Like, I completely understand. Let's see. And also on jailbird news, R. Kelly. There was some photos that came out that said, "Oh, this is R. Kelly." That didn't look nothing like R. Kelly. That guy, even though I understand when you go to jail and you eat the sodium-filled food, you pack on some weight, but R. Kelly liked to play basketball a lot, so there's no way he could have added on that much weight. But he did call into this one podcast. I think it's called Inmate Tea or something. It's a small town. It's a small town, a small time podcast. So it's not like big like Joe Budden and all them. And he sang for the young ladies who were on the show. And he basically said, jail is jail. And food's not bad, but it's not good. And he also claimed he wrote 25 albums in there. And you know what I think? 5 of those albums are actual music, and 20 is trapped in the closet the new season. That's just my opinion. That's what I think. Like, you say 25 albums, 20 trapped in the closet episodes, and 5 actual music episodes. That's what I think. Let's see. ASAP Rocky was found not guilty of shooting ASAP Relly. Congratulations to ASAP Rocky, so he can go home and just be with his family, love on Rihanna, love on those babies they have. And it was so cute. Like, people thought it was so inappropriate, but it was so cute that he jumped in the stands and hugged on Rihanna. And you guys gotta understand, Rihanna was scared she was gonna have to raise 2 little boys by herself. So of course, I respect it. I respect ASAP jumping in that crowd hugging on his woman because he gets to go home with her. So now ASAP Rocky could move on, work on fashion, work on music. It's a breath of fresh air for him, in my opinion. Blue Bloods get a spinoff in Boston. I can't wait to see this. I always liked Blue Bloods. I've been watching Blue Bloods since I was like in high school. I kind of fell off after Linda died. I kind of stopped watching. Everyone just got old and grew up on me. But I can't wait to see how this is going to be in Boston. What's his name? Wahlberg. I get them all mixed up, so I'm going to call him Wahlberg. Wahlberg is actually from Boston, so he'll probably be more at home when filming. So I can't wait to see how this will do. Um, Cassie is pregnant with baby number 3. One thing we can say about Cassie is that she got her happily ever after. Seriously. She got away from toxic Diddy. She got married and now she's having baby number 3 and she is smiling so hard in those photos. So we got to give it to Cassie for standing up for herself, advocating for herself, which everyone else advocated with her, which came after. So congratulations to Cassie. I hope she has a healthy pregnancy and she has just such a beautiful family. Kamala Harris signs with CAA, which is an talent agency in California. And what do I expect to see from her? Books, podcasts, movies, and another presidential run. Just saying. And lastly, I'm going to wrap up my show with rest in pieces. First of all, rest in peace to Roy Ayers. Roy Ayers was a singer, a jazz singer. If you don't know his music, if you've seen Straight Outta Compton and when Dr. Dre's character first came on the screen, he was listening to that one song, Laying in the Middle of the Floor. That's Roy Ayers. So rest in peace to him. Roberta Flack, they just had her funeral the other day, so rest in peace to Roberta Flack. The closer I get to you. So rest in peace. Rest in peace to Dwayne Wiggins, a member of Tony, Tony, Tony. He passed away. He had bladder cancer. I grew up with Tony, Tony, Tony. All you ever give me is the blues. Rest in peace to Carl Dean, who is the husband of Dolly Parton. Rest in peace, Angie Stone. Like, if you grew up with neo soul mothers, Angie Stone, if you know, you know. My sunshine has come, and there's no more rain in this cloud. Rest in peace to her, and rest in peace, Valletta Wallace, the mother of Biggie Smalls. So that is the end of another episode of Thompson and Stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you guys, and thank you again for the support. I gotta go. Peace.